You know, my first and biggest thing is plan. Identify where it is you want to go. Find out what the rules and regulations are. So then you can start to determine what it is you want to take on your trip. Identify if you want to go luxurious or go low impact. What your comfort level is. If it's and once you identify your area you're going into, you can. You then start putting your list of gear that you want to take or need to take. Nutrition is probably one of the biggest concerns that you could have if you don't prepare for it. So let's talk about what you're typically feeding right now. A lot of people don't even know a horse needs 20 to 30 pounds of roughage every day. A lot of horses we supplement with different kinds of grains. So we're planning an overnight trip. Do we want to try to pack all that roughage on our horses? Are we going to have access to different grazings? If you're in your barn, your horse eats hay, and then you're taking them out and you're going to graze them, are you going to have colicking issues or problems with your horse eating that? And definitely things you need to think about. I compare a lot of things to what we do as people. If you're going to run that marathon or run that 5K, what's it going to take for you to get in shape for that race? And I think it's going to be very similar to a horse. It's going to be 2 or 3 weeks of planning, a couple hours a day, an hour a day. Would be very beneficial to conditioning of the horse. And as far as your horse goes, is getting them used to the gear and the equipment you're going to be taking out. Again, that depends on your horse. If your horse is already a very level-minded, intelligent horse that's not spooky, your work is going to be less than if you've got a little more spirited horse that tends to shy at a lot of things. We grow up in these controlled environments. We've got stalls and we've got barns. We've got familiar objects to tie to. So we go out into the woods and all of a sudden we're tying to a picket line or to a high line, and our horse has never done that before. Maybe we want to turn some horses loose to graze overnight, and our horse has never done that before. And you don't think about it. You think about your pasture at home where you turn your horse out in, and your horse is fine out there, and then you turn him loose with other horses with no fence. Maybe you're going to hobble your horse, and you don't think it's going to be an event, and all of a sudden it does turn into an event. And I can't emphasize enough about the preparedness for emergencies and what to do if, and if you think all those things through, your outcome is going to be so much better. It gives you a chance to get out into nature and desensitize all the stimulus that's going on in the world, in your barn, and sit back and just really spend some good time with some friends without the video games. And really, you have to start adapting to how are we going to make this work. You have to become resourceful. Hopefully your cell phones don't work, and you become reliant on your own abilities to survive. You get to know your horses a lot better. You actually see how much they drink. You actually see how they survive in nature. And just sitting around and just studying herd behavior, you learn more about your animals, and you'll become a much better horse person by going on a trip like this, where you're just developing a whole different respect and a whole new realm of knowledge about the animals.